Tell me, first of all, when we talk about Wagner or Wagner, as you pronounce it in Russian, is there anything to admire about this group when you look at the totality of what they have done in places like Mali and elsewhere? How would you characterize what they really are?
I have written both for the LA Times, U.S. News and World Report that this is an organization that, while it seizes the label of being a private military company, I think it's more along the lines of a terrorist group carrying out politically premeditated acts of violence, and it should be treated as a terrorist organization. Now, the United States government labeled a few months ago the Wagner Group a transnational criminal organization, and it certainly is that too. But these things aren't always mutually exclusive. It can be both a criminal organization and an organization that's engaged in terrorism. And I think that's a better way to describe the Wagner Group.
Why are these definitions important?
These definitions are particularly important because it can allow for governments to use tools in their arsenal to counter organizations that are terrorist groups in different ways than criminal groups. And just one very quick example is that in the United States, when a group is labeled a foreign terrorist organization pursuant to U.S. law by the Department of State, it allows for the Department of Justice to provide essentially more prosecutorial leverage, not only to attorneys who may want to prosecute individuals who try to provide support to the Wagner Group, but it also could lead to individuals who provide that support behind bars for a longer period of time than, say, if they were a run-of-the-mill criminal organization or sanctioned for some other kind of violation pursuant to U.S. law. For instance, there are an array of sanctions that the U.S. government has placed against the Wagner Group, labeling it essentially an organization that causes instability in Ukraine. That's one thing, but it also, if you label it as a terrorist group, it may change the calculations of individuals or countries that want to do business with it. It could lead to risk calculations that may essentially lead to de-risking relationships that maybe the Wagner has with a country like the Central African Republic or with Mali, as an example. So it's a really important tool that has significant symbolic and normative value, but also has real teeth.